Good morning, Transit. How are we doing this morning? Yeah, let's go. Also, I want to give a shout out to all the dads in the room who are spending their Sunday morning with us. Let's give it up for the dads in the room. Yes, happy Father's Day. If we haven't met, my name is David, and I'm just super excited to be here talking to you guys this morning. If it's your first time in the room, thank you so much for spending it with us this morning at Transit. We've been in a series called Better, AKA the Pizza Series, as you see kind of here on the screen. And I was thinking no better way to start than to get your guys' opinions on some of my favorite pizza brands. And so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw some pizza brands up on the screen, and you guys are gonna give me double thumbs up if you love it, thumbs sideways if it's kind of mid, and thumbs down if you're not rocking with it. So let's start with a classic DiGiorno's. Mid, I agree, mid, yeah. I see a lot of thumbs, I see some thumbs down, some thumbs side. You know, it's a solid frozen pizza, but yeah, pretty mid, pretty mid. All right, let's go to Lunchables. Or Lunchly, as they call it now. Shout out Lunchly. Mid, a lot of thumbs down. What are we thinking, thumbs down? Bad, boo. All right, what about Domino's Pizza? How do we feel about Domino's? Okay, some thumbs sideways, mostly thumbs up. Domino's is good old reliable. You know, whenever I'm watching the sports game, we order in Domino's. Okay. Let's go Papa John's. Wow, bro, I feel that. My grandma used to always order Papa John's. It's such a great memory. That was a crazy response. What, you don't like Papa John's though? Don't like pizza at all? Well, that's rough. I'm sorry for you. I'm just kidding. All right, last but not least, let's put up Mellow Mushroom. Let's go. Oh, we got a ton of thumbs down over here. No, a lot of yays. Okay, how about this? What's better? On the count of three, I want everyone to cheer for Papa John's if you like Papa John's more than Mellow Mushroom, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, what about, on the count of three, I'm gonna go if you like Mellow Mushroom more than Papa John's. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think Mellow Mushroom was a little louder. But yeah, as you guys saw, we all had different opinions. We all had different feelings about each pizza brand. And you know, I think about this little experiment, this little thing that we just did, and I'm like, what if I put my name up here? You know, David Jung. Yeah, thank you. See, so that's the question is how would people respond if I put my name up here? And obviously a lot of you guys clapped. If you ask my friends about me, they'd be like, oh, David's great, he's high energy, he's super friendly. Some of them might say David yaps a little too much, to be honest. Like, he's a little full of him sometimes. Sometimes if you ask my friend, they'd be like, he's different, like in a unique way. Like, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm curious if I put your guys' name up here, what would people say about you? Like if you asked your closest friends, if you asked around, what would people say about you? And maybe you're thinking and you're like, oh, I got great friends. They would say all sorts of good things about me. Or maybe you're seeing this and you're thinking right now and you're like, I don't know what my friends would say about me. I don't know if it'd be good. I don't know if it'd be bad. But like you guys, if I'm thinking through this and I understand like everyone around has some sort of opinion, some sort of idea of who they think I am, I didn't realize that I was building my reputation. I didn't realize that I was building my reputation as a person. Every day when I had conversations with people, when I went out of my way to do something nice, or when I hurt someone's feelings, when I made a joke that went a little too far, I didn't realize that I was building my reputation. And so I think all of us in this room can agree, we don't want to be known as like trashy people. We want our friends to think highly of us. Like we want to have a good reputation. And there's someone in the Bible who knew that this was so important. And we've been talking about him a little bit through the past few weeks. But if you don't know, his name is King Solomon. And so King Solomon was great. King Solomon was that guy. He was a king. He didn't have to listen to anyone. And he had the opportunity to ask God for anything. And you guys know what he asked God for? Wisdom. Yeah, he asked God for wisdom. He could have asked for a PS5. He could have asked for all the friends in the world. He could have asked for crazy money. And he asked for wisdom so he could lead his kingdom well. And he doesn't stop there. King Solomon goes all over and he asks all sorts of people for advice. And then he writes this book called Proverbs. Anyone in here have heard of Proverbs before? Okay, most of you. Yeah, if you haven't heard of Proverbs, it's in the Bible, and we're gonna be looking at one specific Proverbs today, and that's Proverbs 22:1. Proverbs 22:1. And this proverb says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. So at first glance, I'm like, what? Like, a good name, like a good reputation is better than to have like crazy money, have a yacht, have millions of dollars. But as I think about it more, and I think about what King Solomon's saying more, I realize like I could have all the money in the world, but money's not gonna buy me great friends. I could have all the money in the world and everyone around me is like, man, I don't like that guy. And they're all talking behind my back. But a great name, a great reputation goes a lot further than money in the long run. And King Solomon knew this. King Solomon knew that a good name was more desirable than silver or gold. He knew that a good name was more important than great riches. And so when I think about my reputation, I realize that I'm building a name for myself with every choice that I make. You're building a name for yourself with the choices that you make. And so knowing that, I know that hey, I need to be careful what choices I make, what I say, what I do in certain situations. And it makes me think a lot of a pizza, bringing it back to pizzas. If I have a cheese pizza and I put pepperonis on that pizza, what would I call that pizza? A pepperoni pizza, yep. If I take a pizza, and I put like pepperonis, bacon, sausage, all sorts of meat on it, what would that be called? A meat lover's pizza. If I take a pizza and I put pineapples on it, what would that be called? Yeah, disgusting. I'm with all of you guys. I'm just playing. Yes. But you guys see what I'm saying? You guys see what I'm saying? Log in with me. Based on what I put on the pizza, it changes the name of the pizza, When I put pepperonis on the pizza, and I start calling it a pepperoni pizza, and so on. And I think our lives are a lot like that in a strange way. It's like if I'm someone who, let's say I cheat off my friend's homework all the time. I use ChatGPT all the time because it's easy. I don't want to do the work. Eventually, if I do that long enough, people are gonna be like, yo, don't trust that guy, he's a cheater. Like he's someone who cheats all the time. Or let's think about it this way. Let's say, anytime someone makes me upset, like I crash out, I get super upset really easily. I get angry really easily. And over time, people are gonna be like, man, he is a crash out. He's got anger issues. Like, I don't wanna be friends with him. And the same way, like if I make good choices, people will be like, I wanna be around that guy. I wanna be friends with that guy. And so my next question is okay, so I get it. I want to have a good name. I want to have a good reputation. No one wants to be known poorly. But why are we talking about this in church? Why is this important to God? I'm going to tell you, it's actually the most important to Jesus. And there's one verse specifically I want to look at, John 13:35. And so Jesus is talking to his homies, his friends, the disciples, and he says this to them. He says, people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. People will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. And something, if you guys didn't know, Jesus was different, in the best way possible. Wherever he would go, he would gather large crowds, and people would follow him because they wanted to be they heard the words he was saying, and he was talking about things that no one else was talking about, and they're like, I'm curious. And he would hang out with the tax collectors, and he would hang out with the people in culture who were sick or deaf or lame or had diseases or whatever, and he would hang out with them, and he would show love to them. And the people at that time were like, I don't want to hang out with those guys. But Jesus, he took all this time to care for people and to look out for people, and so people were like, I want to be like him. And so the disciples, these are his group of his friends, his homies, guys who he was teaching, they're following him around everywhere, and he tells them, he's like, hey, if you guys want to be like me, if you guys want to follow me, love other people. That's what he's saying here. People will know that you are my disciples, my followers, my friends, if you have love for one another. And so Jesus is saying hey, if you choose to love one another, people will know that you love me. And so he's not talking about like a butterflies in my tummy or like I got a crush kind of love. He's talking about the choice that we can make to love people every day. And like, I'll give you a few examples. It can be as simple as like, yo, your homie walks in, he's got a really cool shirt on, and you're like, yo, I really like your shirt. Like, that's great. Or your friend, she does her hair differently, and you're like, oh, I like your hair. I don't know about you guys, when I get a compliment, man, that makes my day. Like, I feel like, man, I knew that shirt was cool. Like, and that's just a simple way we can show love to the people around us. Or, let's say you're on a club or a team, let's say it's soccer. You're on a soccer team and you have a friend and she's just having a rough day, and she just can't, like, she's just not playing well. And maybe other people on your team are giving her a tough time. And instead of giving her a tough time, you're like, yo, keep your head up. Like, it's all right. Get the next one. Like, you're doing great. You'll be fine. That's another way that we can choose to love someone. We can make a choice to show love to the people around us. And Jesus says in doing that, people will know that we follow him. And so maybe you're in this room right now and you're like, well, I don't know if I believe in Jesus. Like, I come because transit's fun. We got Gaga Ball, we got Nine Square, the music's awesome. Like, I have friends here, but I don't know if I believe in Jesus yet. I would encourage you to ask your small group leader, ask someone in a name tag, more questions about Jesus. Because I think we can all agree that we want a good name. We want a good reputation. We want the people around us to like us. So back to this, if we choose love, if we choose to love one another, and if that shows us that we are a follower of God, then I gotta come back to realizing that I'm building a name with the choices that I make. You're building a name with the choices you make. You can make great choices that show that you love your friends. You can make choices that are hurtful and are gonna pull others down. And I wanna leave you guys with two things before we go to small groups. And the first thing is, decide what you wanna be known for. Decide what you wanna be known for. Like, when I want people to talk about me when I'm not around, what do I want people to say? Do I want people to say, like, man, David's great. He's super funny. He's super friendly. Like, he's always got my back. I know he's gonna be there for me. I know he's if I'm going through something, like, I can call him. Like, what do you wanna be known for? When people think of you, what do you want them to say? And then two, make better choices. And I know it's easier said than done, but make choices that person that you want to be known as would make. If you want to be a friendly person, encourage one another. Be there for one another. Compliment each other's shirts or shoes or whatever it might be. If you want to be known as someone who's smart and does well at school, study. Like, put the time in. Do your work. Do that. Make choices to be the type of person that you want to be known as. And so maybe you're like, I don't know what these choices are. I don't know what choices I should be making. I would encourage you guys to ask in small groups what some of these choices could be. I'm going to go ahead and pray, and then we are going to head to small groups. Hey, God, I am just so thankful that we get to be here Sunday morning. We get to learn about you. I pray that you would just help us love others so that people could see that we look like you, and help us make better choices so that people know that we follow you, God. I pray for great small group discussion, and I just thank you for all the dads who show up every day. And I just pray, amen.